Good morning, everyone. My name is John McKay. I'm the Member of Parliament for Scarborough-Guildwood, and the sponsor, the House sponsor of S211, which passed yesterday. I'm joined by Senator Julie Miville-Dechêne, who is the Senate sponsor of S211, and by Michael Messenger, a faithful friend for the past number of years from World Vision. So we thought we would talk about S211 and the significance of it as a bill. But let me just say that it's been a journey. For me, it's been a 4-year journey. For Michael and the World Vision folks, it's been at least a 10-year journey and maybe even longer. And it's been an interesting evolution of a concern that the Canadian public has had about the way in which Canadians advertently or inadvertently consume slave-made goods. I'm sure that no one here would argue that that's a good thing. If you can't accept the moral argument, then accept the economic argument. On economic grounds, it's utterly stupid. And the advocacy of World Vision and others has moved that idea from it's the wrong thing to do, it's the uneconomic thing to do, to two-party platforms. The Conservatives and the Liberals had legislation commitments in their party platforms in the last election. And then that moved, once the election was finished, into ministerial mandates. And 4 ministers had mandates to succeed or to produce legislation such as this. I had been involved in legislation in the previous Parliament with limited or no success, but in collaboration with my colleague in the Senate, we were able to start S211 in the Senate, get it through, get it back into the House, and dealt with, I was going to say expeditiously, but expeditiously is not a word that generally is associated with the House of Commons. Nevertheless, we are here, and nevertheless, we've voted. And I'm very pleased to say that it was a very, very strong vote. And now the real work begins. Because I have said to both, well, to all 4 ministers, but particularly Ministers Mendocino and O'Regan, we do not want a Potemkin bill. We want a bill that works. We want a bill that compels Canadian companies to expeditiously complete their obligations under the bill and to build, if you will, a database so that we can expunge this scourge from our economic life. So while we justifiably take some pleasure in yesterday's vote, it's today, and we are anticipating and hoping that we will have the implementation of this bill ready for its date of implementation, which is January 1st of next year. So with that, I'm going to call on my colleague in arms, Senator Julie Miville-Dechêne, who's been a good friend and a real faithful advocate over many years. Julie?
Thank you very much, John. Yes, it was a journey. Donc, c'est la fin heureuse d'un long processus lancé par effectivement mon ami et député John McKay il y a 4 ans. Il s'est passé beaucoup de choses depuis qui nous ont aidés, franchement. La pandémie, les scandales visant l'importation de gants médicaux, des enquêtes des médias. Bref, pour toutes ces raisons, et peut-être un peu à cause de notre persévérance, le contexte est devenu plus favorable. Avec cette loi commence véritablement ici au Canada la lutte au travail forcé et au travail des enfants dans nos chaînes d'approvisionnement. Le Canada était en retard, très en retard. C'était gênant pour nous tous qu'un pays riche comme le Canada, parlant sans cesse du respect nécessaire des droits de la personne, n'en fasse pas plus. Je veux dire quelques mots sur la loi elle-même et ensuite sur l'esprit qui nous a guidés. La loi S-211 est une loi de transparente, plus sévère que les lois au Royaume-Uni et en Australie. Elle oblige les entreprises qui font affaire au Canada à examiner leur chaîne d'approvisionnement et de produire des rapports annuels et publics sur les risques du travail forcé et du travail des enfants, de même que sur les mesures mises en place pour lutter contre ce fléau. La loi S-211 représente aussi un certain compromis entre les demandes des ONG pour un modèle plus large et plus sévère et les demandes des entreprises pour une approche plus pragmatique et graduelle. Je l'ai dit souvent, cette loi est un premier pas. Nous avons fait le choix du pragmatisme en adoptant une loi de transparence qui améliore le modèle, sachant qu'il faut commencer quelque part. Rien n'est jamais parfait, bien sûr, mais nous avons toujours été guidés par l'idée qu'il ne fallait pas que le mieux soit l'ennemi du bien. Bien sûr, le Canada peut en faire plus. Le ministre a promis des actions additionnelles dans le budget et elles seront bienvenues. La loi sera révisée dans 5 ans, une occasion d'apporter des améliorations aux besoins. Et nous devons aussi suivre les tendances mondiales en la matière et réagir à l'évolution de la législation sur l'esclavage moderne. Le conseil que je donne aux entreprises, John a parlé des conseils au gouvernement, il faut bien sûr que la réglementation soit mise en place, qu'on puisse mettre en vigueur la loi en janvier 2024, donc le plus tôt possible. Mais mon conseil ou le conseil que je donne aux entreprises, si vous ne voulez pas d'une loi plus sévère, faites la démonstration que notre loi fonctionne. Sinon, il est certain que nous irons plus loin. Comme société, nous ne pouvons pas tolérer que les produits à bas prix que nous consommons tous les jours contiennent du travail forcé et du travail des enfants. Cela nous rend complices de violations graves des droits de la personne à travers le monde et ici même. Je voudrais conclure en remerciant encore une fois Vision Mondiale pour leur expertise, leurs conseils et leur appui. La loi ne serait pas là sans eux. Et je remercie aussi chaleureusement, sincèrement John, pour la collaboration étroite au cours des dernières années. Au-delà de cette loi, cette histoire démontre les bénéfices du travail non partisan en collaboration entre les partis et les chambres. C'est un exemple de ce que le Parlement peut faire de mieux. Merci. Alors, je donne la parole maintenant à Vision Mondiale.
Merci beaucoup. Good morning. On behalf of World Vision Canada, we want to sincerely congratulate Senator Miville-Dechêne and MP McKay on the passage of Bill S-211. Their tireless advocacy for many years has led us to this historic moment. Your selfless service, your commitment to moving this journey through is going to benefit the lives of vulnerable girls and boys around the world. And it does show that by working together, parliamentarians and civil society can accomplish meaningful change. At World Vision, our supporters for many years have told us that they envision a world where no child has to work in what we call 3D jobs, dirty, dangerous, or degrading. And after a decade of advocacy at World Vision, we can say that Canada is now taking meaningful steps to begin addressing the risks of child labor and forced labor in our global supply chain. This has been something that World Vision has been engaged in publicly since 2012, and it's grounded in our experience as we talk to our colleagues working with children and families in some of the most challenging parts of the world. I personally have been to Bangladesh, where I met Tanya, who works all night long at the age of 14, deveining shrimp, being prevented from going to school. Or hearing stories from Oscar, who since the age of 8 has had to cut coffee with dangerous tools, not being able to experience the opportunity to go to school. Or in the eastern part of the Democratic Republic of the Congo, where children as young as 10 are involved in artisanal mining in dangerous circumstances. This new law comes at a critical time as well, because it has never been more likely that a child has helped source or produce an item purchased here in Canada. child labor is on the rise globally for the first time in 2 decades. More than 160 million girls and boys are in some form of labor, including 79 million in the worst forms of child labor. Worst forms of child labor that compromise their health, their safety, and their education. People in Canada need to know they should be confident that their purchases are made responsibly, they're free from exploitation, and by requiring companies to be transparent about their efforts to prevent and mitigate the risks of child and forced labor in their operations abroad, this bill, a critical first step, will enable Canadians to have more confidence that their purchases are legal. But as the Senator said, this is just a first step. It's a transparency bill, it's a reporting bill. We are continuing to advocate with others in our sector to ensure that we have true due diligence. And we are so encouraged by the momentum that the advocacy and work that this bill is signaling and the commitment already made by the Minister of Labour for the Canadian government to take that critical next step. Again, our sincere appreciation and thanks to Senator Miville-Dechêne and MP McKay, as well as their staff for this tremendous collaboration. Thank you very much. Merci.
Any questions?
I don't have any questions online, nor do I have any journalists, so if you have anything else to add.
No, I don't really have anything else to add other than, as Michael has said, this is one step. The next immediate step is the regulatory environment to establish the efficacy of this bill, and also to recognize that on the framework of this bill, a number of the due diligence issues that we are cognizant of can be hung. But it is a first step. It is not the last step, and it is certainly not the last step for us. So with that, unless you wish to say something, Julie?
J'aimerais peut-être
Ah oui.
répondre un peu aux critiques à l'effet que ce projet de loi n'est pas assez fort, qu'il n'aurait pas de mordant. C'est faux. C'est un projet de loi de transparence, bien sûr, mais il est sévère. Il comporte des sanctions, il oblige les conseils d'administration à signer des rapports, il prévoit des pénalités quand ces rapports ne contiennent pas la vérité et que c'est su, donc qu'on ment sciemment. Et bref, il y a aussi toute la question de la réputation. Quand une compagnie ne se conformera pas à la loi, elle risque sa réputation. Dans un contexte où les consommateurs sont plus exigeants, dans un contexte où les investisseurs sont plus exigeants, alors de penser que tous ces mécanismes-là n'auront pas d'effet, c'est impensable. Les compagnies tiennent à leur réputation et j'espère bien sûr qu'elles comprendront l'importance de cette loi. Merci.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good day.